During the last 3.5 months, we could see a relief valley in the crypto markets, and we could see a Bitcoin price surging from 15.5k to 31k, which is pretty much a 2x. Now we have a slight decrease in price of around 10%, and you're probably wondering, is this the end of the relief valley and we're gonna see a big pullback with like new lower lows or even double bottom or anything similar? Or this is just a slight pullback and we have a bull run ahead of us? In this video, I'll do a Bitcoin analysis and I'll try to point out few indicators that will help us to understand the future of crypto markets. Stay tuned. Hello folks, my name is Željko and welcome to Unsymmetric. In the last few days we had many events in the crypto markets, few good ones, few bad ones. From the one side we have a MiCA regulation being accepted in the Europe, which is really good news, while from the other side we could see US regulators tightening regulations more and more, and now many United States companies are looking for other possible solutions and where they should move. The other thing about which everyone is talking about is Coin. From what I saw, it surged like 4,000x in few days, which is pretty much insane. But let's look at the charts and see how all of this is affecting the markets. So if we take a look into the Bitcoin's chart, I drew this line pretty much around a month and a half ago. And I'm not saying that this is something that the Bitcoin price will necessarily follow. I just draw some scenario which would affect both shorts and longs in a negative way. And now we are currently in a market condition where big players are manipulating markets a lot. We just recently saw some big players that haven't been doing anything with their wallets for like last 5 to 10 years, activating and depositing their Bitcoin on exchanges. And this is something that you always need to take into consideration if you want to trade Bitcoin. Now, in my opinion, we are pretty much in no man's land where we can go both up. We can pretty much hold the support at like 27k and have a new local higher high, or we can go straight down. And currently we are not in a position that you can open like really good trades with good risk reward ratios, or pretty much. Me personally, I'm staying out for now, to be honest. Like, there is one scenario where this could be just some deviation of the market and we could see a pullback and we would probably like stay in this zone in which we were previously. I'm not sure if we're gonna have like double bottom or new lower low or anything similar, because I feel that this is something that wouldn't happen if we didn't have some big external events happening, and I don't think that we're gonna drop into this zone again, except if something really bad happens again, right? So one of the like most likely scenarios currently which I see that can happen is that we either hold 27k or we hold 25k and we get a new local higher high to maybe 32k. If we manage to break 32k and we manage to support it, like we don't have strong resistances, we don't have like strong volumes pretty much until 40k. The other possible scenario is pretty much if we fall below it and we retest 27k, or we follow below 25k and we retest and we fail to break this resistance, then honestly I would be worried and I would expect to be in this range for a while. So the best possible scenario in my opinion would be to either hold 27k and then continue up with a strong uptrend, or to hold 25k and then continue up. Everything besides that would pretty much change my opinion slightly, that we are like again more neutral or even bearish, at least in a short term. Another thing that I wanted to address is the Bitcoin dominance, and usually when we are heading into the bull market and we have a pullback, people start transitioning their Bitcoin and their stablecoins into the altcoins. And in this situation, we can see that actually the opposite is happening. Even though you can see like a stagnation of Bitcoin dominance, you can see when you exclude stablecoins that the Bitcoin dominance is actually going even more up, while the altcoin dominance is constantly going down. And in my opinion, this is not a case for a bull market. And the best thing that I could expect to see is that we have a sharp pullback with the Bitcoin dominance rallying up a bit more. And then once we get that pullback, then we could see people start transitioning into the altcoins. And another concerning factor is that the stablecoin dominance is pretty low currently, and I would like to see that more and more people are moving their money into the crypto markets actually. Because if you take a look into the stablecoins market cap, you can see that it is constantly going down, and this wasn't the case in the previous bull run, and this is why this is pretty much concerning in my opinion. And like each weekly update that I'm doing, we can see USDT dominance is increasing in comparison to other stablecoins, and that's not good for crypto markets. You want decentralization and you want more stablecoins that are actually viable. This is actually probably the most concerning thing for me, because like if we are really that close to bull market, I would expect people to start depositing aggressively, and I would expect people to stay on the side and waiting like for the prices and being in stable coins, being ready to buy at any moment if the depot course or anything. But if you just look into this chart, you can see that this is actually not happening, unfortunately. One thing that is also maybe even a little weird to me is if we take a look at the historical Bitcoin volatility, and you can see that if you take a long time frame, it is actually slowly decreasing. Here we have a 200 weekly moving average. And like one weird thing for me is because like the lower the market cap, the easier is to move the price, right? And also when you move price of 20k for the 2k, it's like 10%. When you move the price of like 60k for 2k, it's like 3.33% if I calculated correctly. And we even saw a bigger volatility during these times than we are seeing now. Obviously, we're gonna see high volatility when the markets are in the strong uptrend or downtrend. But even today, I would expect one spike which is bigger than all these previous ones, and that would maybe even lead like to the sharp increase in price and then a fast decrease in price. And this would also validate my idea with eliminating both overexposure shorts and longs, and I think there is a lot of these positions in the markets. And when you look into the prices that are close to the current one, there is way more overexposed shorts than longs. But I think, if we head into the upwards direction, these positions gonna build even further. This would probably take many of these positions, and like some of the people would exit their positions at a loss, while some others would even increase their positions to prevent possible liquidations from the market. Either way, I think now the big players are pretty much doing really good job for themselves and pretty bad things for the retail investors. And even though many people discuss like the previous bull run that it's institutional bull run, I think this will be even more this one that is ahead of us than it was the previous one. The last thing about which I wanted to talk today is the Altcoin season index. I'm not sure why, but I realized this is so confusing for the people, and like they feel that, for example, if we reach the Altcoin season index of 12, that we necessarily have to transition into the altcoin season really soon. And I feel that many of the people don't realize that like when something is delayed indicator, like taking last 90 days into the consideration, like you need to look into the like recent performance, and you need to look into the Bitcoin performance, like when is the time when actually Bitcoin price increased in comparison to other coins. Is it like recently, or is it like before 3 months? Because that's the main thing that gonna affect the altcoin season index. For example, now we can see that there is like six currencies out of 50 that are actually outperforming Bitcoin. And how I like to look into it, you go on the coin market cap, you can pretty much look into the last 50 rows, which would be the last 50 coins. Apologies, the first 50 coins, and you can go to customize, and there you can select to show like 30-day chart, 60-day chart, 90-day chart, and you can see the price changes. And if you look into the price change for the last 90 days, this can help you to understand things so much because, for example, if you look into the graph in 15 days would be at this initial point and this will be the ending point. So actually, instead of like 52% increase, graph will be at minus value, which you can see if you look 60-day chart, 30-day chart, 7-day chart, you can see that is actually going down. If you take something different, like for example XRP, you can see that during this time XRP price was slowly decreasing. And if you look from this starting point and you see the XRP price increase even further in the future, you can see this by looking at like 60 days, 30 days. I don't know why this is so confusing for the people, but you always need to look into what points are taken into the consideration and that the days are moving and we have like the new prices coming on this side while these prices are actually getting removed. So for example, if you look into the phantom is slowly approaching like the local high, and once it gets to the reach to this price, you will see a big minus for phantom. So it's not something that will outperform Bitcoin. The best moment when you actually gonna see the altcoin season starting is actually when the Bitcoin price is probably at this point, that this price moves here and you have a pullback in price. And the other altcoins might pull back even more, but when you're at this time frame, like from the top of the Bitcoin moving to the bottom, that is actually the time when you're gonna see that the altcoin season is increasing in comparison to Bitcoin. And most likely for that to happen, as I said, we need to have the pullback in the market. It's not necessary, but that's the most likely outcome. The other possible scenario is if we have a strong leg up while everything is holding on its current prices, and then once we get to that point and once we are on that road, that would be also a good time and like when we're gonna see the altcoin season might be approaching. So you always want to look like how many coins are outperforming Bitcoin in the last 30 days, how many of them are outperforming Bitcoin in the last 60 days. Because if you see charts like this one or like this one or like this one as well, this is something that can outperform Bitcoin, and you want honestly have majority of the charts like that, and then you will know that we are in an alt season. If this is still a bit confusing to you, you can write in a comment section below or you can join my Discord server and I will try to explain these things even more in depth than I explained in this video. I realized that a lot of people, when they see on Twitter alt season, altcoin season, that it's trending and things like that, that everyone is getting hyped and they're FOMOing into the markets, and that's usually the times when you have like the biggest decrease in altcoins, as we can just see in the last few days. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Stay strong and healthy. Have a wonderful day. Bye.